Hello, hello, hello. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for coming in. I'm Evangelist Krystal Henry. Well, Coach Krystal.
Yes, Coach Krystal.
And Lady Bianca. And we are here to talk about why and how I got into coaching. So this is just a little pop-up live. Somebody did my nails. And somebody blessed me with some lashes. So we're going to talk about how I have been mentoring and coaching Lady Bianca for over a year and how she got me into coaching. And I've just been coaching her with her business, her life, family, her calling,
Yes.
her calling, and her businesses, and just her confidence, So I'm gonna wait a few minutes for some people to come in, and then we're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. And so you're welcome to come in, sit back, and relax with us, and get a great word and encouragement. So let me share a couple of places. Hopefully this time it will not flip on me. And there's no title on Instagram. So for those of you that will be coming in, this is about coaching. It's about coaching, how I got into coaching. So I'm going to send out a few invites, and y'all are welcome to invite some other people in. I'm on Facebook Live under Krystal Henry, and I am on Instagram under Krystal Henry TV. So we are excited that you are here. We are excited that God has given me the opportunity to mentor someone in so many different areas and aspects of their life. And while I'm mentoring her, she has encouraged me to step out on faith and do something totally outside the box. So come on in, get blessed, get a great encouraging word about jumping, stepping, leaping out on faith. We are talking about how I got into coaching. So we'll get started in just a minute. And again, I'm glad that you joined us on this Saturday evening. Just a laid back, kick back, casual conversation. So this is Lady Bianca Majanja. Again, I just got my nails done. And she's also the owner of B Blinks. And so these lovely lashes are part of her collection. So I be blinking. And you can find out all about her line of lashes, her skin, her soap line for beautiful skincare. And we'll just be talking. So God bless you. Hello, everyone. Thank y'all for coming. This little session tonight is how I started coaching, how she got me into this. So again, I've been coaching her for over a year. And so, Bianca, will you just give them an overview of how we started?
Well, I met Miss Krystal in 2016. She booked me to get her hair done. And I was pregnant with my third child. And I didn't even know that she was an evangelist or a pastor at that time. I think it was like a couple of times. It took about 2 or 3 times before I knew that's what she did, because I didn't pay attention to her Facebook page. But I did her hair for about 3 years, and last year we decided to go to a conference together in April. And after that conference is when she asked me, would I allow her to mentor me, because she felt like I was gifted. That's what she felt. That's what she felt. So I accepted, because my mother is deceased. I didn't grow up with my father, and even before my mother died, we were very estranged. So I just kind of needed someone that I trusted that had my best interest at heart. And so I didn't know exactly what mentor was or what they did, but I was willing to find out at that point in my life. So, from there, like, she just started from things that I didn't even notice in myself, like even the way that I dressed at the time. Not necessarily that I dressed bad, but it's just like, I was kind of wearing the same type of clothing, dark clothing, and it really did at that time reflect how I felt about myself. I was insecure about my weight, insecure about my body, and I just had gotten stuck to dressing one way. And so she worked on that, and her approach was just so in a way of not criticizing you, but kind of just slowly walking you into it without not even knowing it. Like, we went shopping together and pointing out things, and just her having me try on things I normally wouldn't try on, but just to get me to see myself in a different light. And she would turn that into a lesson of like walking expectation, being the person dressing for what you want to be in the future, not for who you are now. So those things began to help me, because in the realm she wanted me to start speaking as part of my gift. And I'm not a shy person. I'm really not a shy person, but I'm not really good with crowds of people or behind the camera. But I also knew I had to be obedient to the Lord. In order to be obedient to the Lord, I had to be able to be appealing to them in a way where they weren't going to be distracted about what I had on or whatever. But also, I look approachable and, interesting. So those are like little things that she did to, walk me into different sectors of my life. And when it came to my, love life and stuff, it was a lot of things that I'm unpacking as to why I attracted or dealt with the type of people I was dealing with. And a lot of that stuff unpacking went back to my childhood. And it was just a helpful thing, because some things that we think that didn't affect us as a child, or it didn't bother us, which most of us, to me, I don't think it bothers us at the time because we don't fully understand what's going on. She was able to like break down how those things, make me understand how those things affected the men I chose, the people I chose to be around, and why I was the way I was. And it wasn't just, in relationships like with men, but my friendships. I've had other business too with other partners and all that kind of stuff. So she really just was keen on like helping me build the constant confidence to trust myself enough to trust the process, to trust myself enough to trust the process, not to second guess myself, to know that I know what I'm doing, and anything that is dropped down in my spirit was given to me by God, and that I should trust me, and that, build up the confidence, and not just a confidence in myself, but a godly confidence, knowing that if He gave it to me, He wasn't going to take it away from me, and that anything that I needed, I can go to Him for it. And, so that is just another way where she strengthened me in my spiritual life too, where my prayer life was really weak. I wasn't a person that prayed a lot. Like, I would pray, but then I would feel bad to pray when I was in a bad situation. So I didn't want to pray then. But my prayer life has strengthened tremendously. And a lot of times if I do make a decision without calling on God or speaking to God about it, I have to remember, and take responsibility for it. But it's really not one thing that goes on in my life at this moment, a year and a half later, that I don't pray about. Even if it feels really good or feels like the right decision to make, I really do pray, and I have become so much more sensitive to the Spirit. So, I encouraged her, because I had just started seeing improvement myself. I encouraged her to be, I started seeing where like I would speak of her so much to other people. And some of my friends, they're like, oh, I want to talk to this lady. Like, can I have her number? Like, they would want to talk to this person. Like, they didn't even know her, and they just want to tell her her business because of what I was saying. So it was like, and then like, it reflected how I was as a person, because I found myself, I guess, somewhat coaching or mentoring some people or being encouraging. But, I would give all the glory to God for putting the right people in my life. Her, my pastor, my best friend, my sister, people who are close to me in my life that, speak life into me. And when I started listening and being more sensitive to the Spirit and I can really attest to the things I was saying to other people because I had been through it and I had did it, and they seen the result. They seen me being a more positive person, so they wanted to talk to this lady. And I never really knew anything about a life coach. We didn't really call it coaching. She was just like my mentor. So that's how I looked at it, like I look at her like a mother figure. But I mean, maybe you could say like a big sister program type thing, but I look at her as a mother. But so with that being said, I started watching other videos of another coach, and who was actually a spiritually led coach, which is something I never really seen before. And he ran a certification program where he would certify other people to become coaches, and a lot of things that he spoke on were very much similar things that Miss Krystal spoke on. And I'm like, I felt like this would be like up her realm, because it's like people always used to be like, oh, well, could you ask Miss Krystal what would she do, or try to get her number. I want to meet this lady. People be so drawn to speaking to her just off the fact of how highly I spoke of her and the things I had done in my life and how I was able to establish things and step out on faith. And so, I just was like, for months, it was some unfortunate things that happened. Well, actually, God gave me a vision that she was going to be able to pursue her own business, that she was going to get a break, and she was going to be able to do some things she wanted to do. So when that event took place earlier this year, I was just like, okay, it's time. It's time for you to do real estate, which, we're still waiting on that. But it's time for you to do coaching. It's time for you to start, doing more counseling. It's time for you to start taking on different people. Like, I was just really pressing for it, because in the midst of her coaching me, sometimes I feel like the roles switched, not as far as me coaching her, but as far as me encouraging her. And sometimes people who are always feeding to other people, they forget to feed into themselves. So I had to make it, my business to let her know, like, hey, you have to do this for yourself, and you should do this, and this is happening for a reason with God and stuff like that. So I was just like, months and months, I just kept, hey, you need to do this, you need to take this program, this man, he's very successful and anointed, and I just really think that you'll benefit from it. I think there's a lot of people who need to hear from you. And I feel like it was just her natural calling. And I'm not a person that thinks that you have to have a certification behind your name, but I do know that people do feel better when you have it. When you have it, when you have it, it's just, they feel better. So, and then it's just, and then you never could learn too much. So there's always something more that you can learn. And like I said, this man was so anointed and successful. I feel like it would just be beneficial. So I just kept pushing her until she finally decided to do it. And I'm so excited about what she's going to do and things, because she's really just helped me be, she's helped me with forgiving a lot, because one thing that I did have an issue with after my mother passed, I really thought that I was a person who forgave, but then I have found out that I wasn't. I hold grudges. And so one of those things that, I had to learn that forgiveness was not for them, that I wasn't a punk, I wasn't weak. Matter of fact, it was a very much strengthening and making me stronger to have the ability to forgive and to treat people with dignity and integrity, even when they wronged me, and still love my brethren even when they wrong me, but also in that process learning how to be distant or to pay attention to my triggers and to remove things that are toxic to me or not any good for me. So all those things were like a step-by-step process. It was not an overnight thing, but I'm so grateful that God blessed me to have. I'm so grateful that God blessed me to be able to experience that and still experiencing it, because even after that, I was able to start a business. Matter of fact, we started a body care business late last year together that will be coming back out soon, relaunching for the fall. And then after that, I started doing my own thing with the lashes. I'm a makeup artist, and it was just things that things that I always was known for, which was my lashes. And so, with her and my best friend and, other people encouraged me to start my own business. I mean, she stepped in. She's so multifaceted. Even things I didn't know, she took the time out to research it for me. She took the time out to try to help me and guide me and just holding me accountable about my goals and did I meet it today, and being honest. So when picking a life coach, you don't want anybody that's gonna agree with you, and you don't want anybody that's gonna be mean to you. You want someone who really wants to correct you out of love, who wants to correct you because they see potential in you. And I think a lot of us lack that. So, it definitely put me in a space to, when you're going into, it put me in a space to be able to receive what I think that was negative, even though God used it for my good, but it can always be changed. And just needing someone to show me, I'm not going to tell you what's wrong with you. I'm going to tell you why this is, I'm going to help you figure out why this is wrong and how it can be fixed. And it's okay because this is what happened. And she's very candid and open about her life experiences prior to being a first lady and being an evangelist and the things she's gone through. So the conversations we have is, I don't feel like I'm talking to a pastor. I don't feel like I have to be different. Yeah, can be condemned. Always respectful, but never condemned. I can be 100% myself. So, this past year, I'm just kind of grown into being more myself and just learned that, I'm great because God created me to be great, and that I'm basically like in God's will doing the things that I want to do, down to how I dress, how I do my makeup, how I run my business, divisions and stuff. Even if it's not something that's like someone else might do, it's something that God gave me. And I have her to thank, and along with other people that's close to me, my wife, to encourage me to be like, hey, you got this. This is you. Don't second guess yourself and just put it out. And I'm just so grateful for that. I'm very grateful. I really can't say enough about that.
Well, I just want to ask you, because you touched on a lot of things that we have talked, the conversations that we have had over the last year and a half. And there's some moments that that I know that we had where I just, plainly kind of was like, no, you're going to do this. You're going to, because I see it. And one of the hardest things I think that to get her to see, because I'm not going to give you anything that's not already in you. God put so much in us, so he has given me a gift to see what other people don't see, even what, you may not see in yourself. And so one of the things that I easily recognized was the fact that she was a phenomenal entrepreneur. She had amazing ideas. And I told her, hey, this is a great idea. I'm like, this is what I can do. And so if we all stay in our lanes and do what we're gifted to do, sometimes we have to push past what we think we can do. And so she would tell me, this idea, or someone told her that this is one of her gifts, or they prophesied to her. And upon hearing it, I could see it. And so one of my gifts is to be able to do logos and to do commercials. I taught myself how to do websites, so I did my own websites. And so one of the things I did was create logos for her businesses, for B Blinks. For B Blinks, and
I'm trying not to blink because you blink.
I'm wearing Fina. And so for her lash line, we were able to design the packaging and the logos and the labels for her lip line. Now I have a color underneath, but I'm wearing the gloss. And so the gloss that I'm wearing, she created and made, and so it's all natural. And so I just because you may not have a website, just because you may not have everything together and the way you want it to be put together, it doesn't mean that you can't start what God has given you. So that was one of the things that I was just like, no, you're going to do it. Here, I'm going to help you. Here's the labels. Here's the logo. We'll figure out the rest. And, some of the things that we did was the lashes, the lip gloss.
Yes.
And then she said she always wanted to do nails.
I don't do nails, y'all.
She said she wanted to do nails. So when the pandemic hit,
I don't do nails.
she don't do them, but somehow, I'm gonna give y'all a close up. Somehow, these are my lashes
I don't do
and my nails.
I don't do nails.
Okay, but somehow during the pandemic, we started ordering, and I was like, you know what? I've seen the little ladies dip nails. I said, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. And so we started doing the little dip nails. Somebody got a drill. And we started buying the different dips and the different this and that. And so now my nails look like this.
I don't do nails.
I'm just saying. So sometimes when you are encouraging somebody out of their comfort zone, it's a way that you can encourage them. And God has gifted me to like coach people through, push that gift out. Now, she has started other businesses prior, but it was like she would begin, but never follow through or never fully finish. But this time was different. And so y'all be on the lookout for her website. It'll be coming soon.
Yes.
Website will be coming soon for lashes and lip glaze. And maybe she'll be traveling doing nails. We'll see. I'm working on that part. So those are some of the areas that I coached her through as far as business. When you touched on the area as far as dress, and I used myself when I spoke to her about how she dressed. I didn't come to her like the church mothers and try to wrap her up, with like a tortilla with a blanket on. I was just like, black is a cute color, but you don't need to wear black every time I see you. And I just explained to her that I had gone through a time period where all I wore was black. Every time I would go to the store, I would buy something black. And I had to just get out of it, not realizing that I was depressed. I didn't realize I was depressed, but I was just wearing black. I had gained weight, and I'm thinking black makes me look smaller. But, then after a while, it's like, are you a witch? All you wear is black. You've got to come out of that. So I encouraged her, dress like you want someone to buy your products. Dress like you are that boss. Dress like you are dressing for your husband, because you are that good thing that God made. And your husband will find you and recognize that you are the good thing that he needs in his life. So there's some things that we talked about. Is there anything that stands out about you, or stands out to you, about how I encouraged you to not only change your dress, but it changed your attitude, and now you're like all colorful, yellow and pink?
I think not even just with the color. I think it just helped me be more of a. I people don't really believe me, but I'm very much an introvert, and I really don't do well with a lot of people. Like, I'm a nice person and I'm talkative and I don't meet strangers, but it's kind of like I'm not like a person like that will, I don't know, I guess I could come off as having an attitude even though I'm not trying to. I'm kind of,
it's a stereotype. Whatever. There's a difference between a stereotype and who you really are.
I think it just helped me be, also just helped me be more, not even just dressing, but help my attitude be more calm. I became a little bit more patient with people. I still can get that way, but I'm more patient with people in my personal life versus, and also like out in public. Like, I speak, I look ahead, because, I got to a point in my life where I'm just kind of like, if I wasn't going anywhere, I wasn't going to do anything to myself. I wasn't going to comb my hair, so I kind of always had a bonnet on, and I'd be like looking down because I didn't want nobody to see me when I'm in public. But now it's kind of like I try to have a approach where I'm like, I try to smile more, try to look people in the face, because it's kind of like one of those things of just expecting, always expecting. You never know the person you're talking to, who they are and what they can do for you, or how they may bless your life, and just being more of an approachable person. And I seen that when I started working at my last job, or the job for last, how people treated me differently because I just was nice, and I was just like, I never had I can't even tell you how my attitude changed. I didn't feel like I was a mean person, but I didn't feel like I gave off the best vibes either. So for people to always, label me as a person who was nice, and they didn't see anything wrong for me, and they would go to bat for me just because I had such a positive attitude, even when it was situations where it could have been really tough, would make you upset, or whatever. I just learned how to be able to meet people where they are, to accept things for what they are. I'm not, all the way where I want to be, but I'm definitely not where.
But we're all a work in progress.
And a lot of times because of the issues I had before, growing up and everything affected me and how I was as a person. I'm able to reflect on that more. It doesn't hurt as much anymore, but I'm able to reflect on that more, to notice the triggers. So I'm able to think before I react more. I really am. I've just calmed down a lot. I just remember the time in my life where it's just, I didn't really want to talk. I want to put my hands on you, and I just wasn't really about to play any games, and I still don't, but it's just one of those things where there's not violence involved, and I'm able to recognize when someone is unhappy, and it's not necessarily anything against me, myself personally. Now I don't battle against flesh and blood, but against spiritual demons and principalities, and that God goes to war for me. So the more and more I have gotten in tune with that part of me, the easier it has been to cope with some adversities in my life. And I've still been able to have her as a guidance for things where I feel like I'm at my breaking point. And I don't know what to do right now, because it's just become so much. And I think that's the benefits of, like I said, of having a coach to help you identify those triggers and why they trigger you. Because once you know why they trigger you, then they really can't trigger you anymore, because you just don't allow it. So I feel like all that just came from just my appearance, how I talk to people, how I treat people, how I approach different things. All that came just slowly but surely. And I just can't even say how I transitioned, because it was really such a smooth transition from going from one thing to the other. It wasn't necessarily a list of what was wrong with me. It was like, okay, we're doing this, but why do you think this is? Or what made you? And when was there a time in your life where you felt this way? How'd you used to dress? And anybody went to school with me, they know I used to wear bright colors, lime green. Yeah, I used to wear bright colors, and at one point in my life, I just kind of got to where I was always wearing clothes just for comfort, dark colors. And I still love my dark colors. I still love black, but it's also the attitude that I had behind it. So I have seen a transition, how I am, how I treat other people, the energy I give, the energy between me and my kids, the vibes and stuff. I just really feel like I have gotten to a point where I'm able to enjoy life more. I don't have to have alcohol. I don't have to have anything. It's just a different type of vibe for me. The things that I look at is fun now, and it's not what I used to think that was fun. I'm just more open to new things, open to trying new things, meet new people, and I'm just really, I'm just in a good space. Well, yeah, I've always cooked.
I know that, but now you're trying new things.
Oh, yeah.
New food.
Yeah.
New places. And really, life coaching is about changing your life and how you view yourself, because how you view yourself can either dim your light or dim the light that people see through you. So we want people to see the light in us. And then one of the most difficult things that I know that you were like, no, I got a lot of pushback. But when God started showing me, God had already showed me I think the first time she did my hair, that there was a call on her life. And she was like, called to what? And so we talked about her childhood. We talked about dreams, and we talked about visions. And God would show me, well, the reason why you were attacked in that way when you were a child is because of your calling. And sometimes we don't equate the bad things that happen to good people along the way. We don't equate that with our calling, because if certain things happen in our life, we will stop moving forward, or we'll stop altogether. And I know within this last year and a half, there was 2 times I know that I was like, no, you're stopping. You're stopping, and I need you to push forward, push through this. And so it really blessed me. Was that Tuesday?
Yeah.
Tuesday, there was, and you don't have the soap with you.
No.
No.
Okay. I don't have soap, I'm almost sold out.
Okay, well, praise the Lord. She's on Tuesday. She popped up. I had talked to her about being stuck, and she had been stuck for like 2 months. And I said, hey, wait a minute. I've let a month go by and I haven't said anything. So your month is up. And I said, hey, you're stuck. And I just spoke to her. And at that point, something happened where she was really angry. So I listened to her, and she was literally yelling. She was literally yelling on the phone. But I listened to her. I let her yell. And I think we had probably 3 or 4 conversations. And all she did was yell, yell, yell. And I was like, okay, enough of that. And so what I told her was, I'm coming for you. And I told her, this is about you. It's not about what anybody else has done. It's not about what anybody else has said. It's not about what anybody else thinks. I'm coming for you. And I know that you are stuck. And so I'm coming to push you through the gate. And so on Tuesday, she posted her soap.
Yeah.
She posted her soap. And so a life coach can recognize when you need a push. Not berate you, not pull you down, but push you, stretch you, pull you through to where you need to be. She is destined to be an entrepreneur. She's destined to be great. She's also called. A lot of people believe that you're only called to ministry, but she's called to the marketplace as well as ministry. And so she is a prophet. Look at her face. She's like, whatever, but she is a prophet and she's an entrepreneur. So her soap line that came out on Tuesday, which she's almost sold out of, again, she's almost sold out of her soap line. But when I saw the creation of her soap, I was like, that's not just soap, it's art. And I was like, this soap is so beautiful. It's all natural. It's to help with acne. It's to help clear up your skin. It's to help tone it. It's to help get rid of the dark spots. For those of us that are people of color, that as soon as you get a bump, you need to get rid of that dark spot that's left behind, to smooth out your skin. That's what her soap does. And so it's not only all natural and smells good, but it's beautiful too. And that's what I told her. I said, wow, that soap bar, that turmeric soap bar is a work of art. And so you know that you're gifted when stuff it's not easy. It was still hard for you to push it out because you had to push it out past your life, past COVID, past being a homeschool teacher, because you have 3 kids that are at home now because of the pandemic. So your whole life has really shifted. My whole life has really shifted in 2020. But in spite of that, now I'm stepping into coaching, still doing my day job, but I'm stepping into coaching. And she's still a great mother of three wonderful kids. I just love them to death. 3 Ks, 3 wonderful kids, and still pushing out her product. Still pushing out her product. So this live tonight was about how I got into coaching. I want you to talk a little bit about Tony, because that's how I got into coaching, was because the one that just did my nails today.
So I started following a life coach / relationship coach named Tony Gaskins. And I just started watching him because he just would talk about relationships and stuff. But he's also a man that has 50 streams of income and 11 businesses. And he's just very anointed. And I like the fact that he gave all his glory to God. And so he has his own program called mymentor.life, where not, even though he's a life coach, it's a platform for other mentors to be able for you to go in there and find mentors that fit your budget for whatever it is that you want to do. There are different mentors on there that, if you want to start a business, or they coach you for business, they coach you for
finances.
There's people on there who will be a vegan coach if you need a coach. It's so many different things if you just need someone to help you with that you can book for. So he also does a certification class that if you're called by the Lord to be a coach, you can actually take a certification class that's accredited, and which means it's real, it's valid, and become a life coach for yourself. These programs, some people charge $6,000-$7,000 for, and they're about 7, 8, 9 months long. And his was a fraction of the price and a fraction of the time, because again, if you're called to do this, that he believes in that being your calling. So I've been watching him, and I was sending his videos, and it was a lot. Like I said, it was a lot of similarities. And when you're a spiritual being or whatever, God doesn't just only give you the word. He doesn't just only give you the what's going on, the ability. It'll be, and usually when something's going on, be multiple people who are spiritually connected speaking the same thing. So I don't always think that someone's taking information from another. Sometimes it's just like, this is what's going on in the spiritual realm, and God uses multiple people to get this out. So, he had his audience and she had her audience. So I'm like, the things he's talking about, how you could become a life coach, because we had spoke about this before, but we never knew how to go about it or what programs there were. And when he offered this, I'm like, look, you have to go and see about this. And, I'm reading one of his books right now, and I've taken a couple of his courses for different types of things, businesses, relationships, self-love, and because for me, I needed a male perspective on just being just how it is out there for dating different things, even though I'm not dating
woman.
As a single person, and just. And I like the fact that he focused on self-love and getting to know yourself and healing and, breaking soul ties and breaking generational curses. And, and I loved his testimony of where he came from and how his life was prior to. And so, I just wanted to get that I wanted to give her that information. So, he's very inspiring for multiple things, and he's from Florida. He didn't graduate college. He didn't graduate college, but he has created a really good life for himself with the work of God, and and that was the main thing for me, that someone out there was coaching people. Like, he coaches professional basketball players. He has coached a few celebrities. He's
football players.
He's done a lot. So, and he's very well known. So for him to, want to pass his blessing on to other people, I feel like that was powerful, because what he lived the life that he talked about. He treats his wife, his children, the way he speaks, the way he tells people to do things, he's done it himself. Yes. And he's been out there in the field, and he speaks from experience. And he, again, is a person who's very candid and open about their past and like they used to be. And when it comes to spiritual or religious people, I think a lot of people shy away from that because they feel like, I have experiences that people don't, once they get saved or once they're behind the pulpit, that they never speak of the sins they committed or the battles they had to go through. And so I was glad to see someone else, especially a black man, talk about the things that he did, the hurt that he caused other people, and how he had to heal from what he's done to other people, how he had to learn to forgive himself and become a better person and shifted his life. And so I felt like, that she could benefit from that, like in a way that, if he could, be a coach, and he's been married for 13 years and not even in ministry, but a man that is saved, which that is his ministry. Her being married 20 plus years and in ministry 20 years, I felt like that she could be successful at it because there's, I feel like people, not even just, some people need a coach for spirituality, to get a relationship with coaching God, because it's just really, it can be a complex thing to understand, to some people, undoing the things that you've always thought, or undoing the pain that you experienced through other religions, or even your current practice that may have confused you. So all these things just play into pushing yourself into purpose and, identifying them things. So that's what, I really like about Tony Gaskins, and I really like about her. Like, there's a lot of similar things. I really do feel like I save some money because Tony got high.
Yes, but he deserves to be high because he mentors people internationally, people that he can't speak about, that he's mentoring, athletes as well, whole football teams and basketball teams. And so, and he's written about, 15 books, or he's written a lot of books. So I ended up taking his class, his course, and now I'm on his website, mymentor.life. So if you are interested in a life coach, there are less than 1,000 of us on that website. He said when he gets to 1,000, he's going to shut it down and just only leave the ones that have been that he's been able to pour into on that website. So I'm grateful for the opportunity because he started the website earlier this year, like in January. So I just got on the website last week. I finished my course, got my certification, and again, I know that this is my calling. I have done group mentoring. I've done individual mentoring. I am a mentor for those that want to go into the ministry or that are in the ministry. I am a First Lady confidant. If you are a First Lady and you need someone to confide in, and that nobody else will tell your secrets, I am that confidant, as well as relationship coaches, coaching her as a single. And even though I'm married, I've been single before. I don't know how else to say it, is I got the one that most people thought would never settle down. I don't know how else to say that, but
that was the Lord.
Because a lot of times there are women that will stay in relationships for years and years and years, and a lot of times you're just allowing that man to be a space holder. And if you are in a relationship over a year and that man is not committed to you, then you need to remove that placeholder. You're more precious. You're worth more than that. You don't need to be a placeholder, or he doesn't need to be a placeholder. Is probably the best way to say it. But that's why I know that relationship coaching is one of the things that God has gifted me in, as well as marriage coaching. Being married to my husband for over 24 years. And we met August 31st, 95, and we married August 31st, 96. And we've been together ever since. Praise the Lord. Together in ministry and together. And so when that husband finds you, you have to have someone to work with. And that's why, because as women, we were made to be help meets. So we are there to help our spouse. And so if he's not doing anything, then what are you there for? What are you helping with? Marriage is really a ministry. And so you're ministering one to another, and you're ministering to your children first, and then you minister outside the household. A lot of times we don't understand that. We don't know that. There's a lot of things that go into marriage. Just even the marriage ceremony, that everyone that you invite to your wedding, they need to be in agreement with your marriage, because not only are they witnesses, but they're supposed to be there throughout your marriage to encourage you, to pray for you. And so you don't want your enemy at your wedding. There's a lot of things, lot of things that we could go into as far as coaching for marriages. So those are my areas of expertise: relationship, preparing for relationships, marriage, and being a first lady, confidant, or a ministry mentor. So the other area that I have mentored her in is in her gift. Recognizing her gift, explaining that even when she was a child, in areas where her gift was working. And being a prophet, you know things that other people don't know. So one of the things that people used to tell her was, you think you know everything. But they didn't know that that was her gift. And so sometimes when we tell children, when we tell people, when we tell our friends, you think you're all of that, or you think you're this, really, are you crazy? Or you don't know, or they'll lie to you. You might be right on the money. You might be hitting that button. You might be right on that button, and they're saying, no, that's not right. That's not what's going on. But then later on you find out, yeah, that's what was really going on. And it was my gift that was working. So that's another area that it was hard for you to swallow, because you had to unlearn the things that was told to you. And so it's still you're still a work in progress, just like I am.
We are.
Ministry is learning, and the more you use your gift, the easier it is to understand your gift. So, and prophecy is one of those gifts that you have to really be confident, to really be confident in when you're hearing God, even if the person is telling you no, and you're hearing God, and God is saying yes, and that person could be telling you no, but God is saying yes. You have to know that because God said yes, it is so. So that's why that gift is so tricky, for a prophet to really be secure in walking fully in their gift. And so that's why you have to be confident, Godfident in God, real Godfident. So is there anything else that you would say, as far as mentoring, how it changed you? Why should someone call me?
Well, even myself going through this pandemic, a lot of, your routine changed up. I wasn't, I wasn't attending church as often. It's like I had a job in the church, so that kept me more connected with the church. And so being when the pandemic happened and just having to live stream it kind of made things difficult. I had more time on my hands, and idle mind is the devil's workshop. So there was some backsliding going on during the pandemic and stuff that I'm pulling myself out of. And so one thing about having a mentor helped me was also to hold myself accountable for what I did. Like, it wasn't just that person's fault, or what I did was forced or anything like that. What was my part in it? What could I have done differently? And what were the signs that I ignored that led me to that space? I feel like anyone right now, anybody who's going through the pandemic can really use a mentor, because I do feel like with this extra time we have on our hands, that new ideas can be birthed, a new you can be birthed. And so it doesn't even necessarily mean you have to start a business or be pursuing a relationship. You could just want to pursue something better and want to know what would be the steps to take forward. I had someone tell me, a friend told them that they didn't feel worthy enough to be a better person. And I remember being in that space. Like, how could I want to be? I felt like I want to be a better person when I had been this way for so long, or I have done these things for so long, or I have did things to certain people. How did I feel like deserving of wanting better? And so, I thank God I did have people as well as a coach in my corner to, instill in me the steps that I need to do, and how to forgive myself, and that I was worthy, and why Jesus died on the cross for me. And so, and not just instilling purpose in you, and let you know that no one here is here without purpose. That any day you wake up and you're still alive, and you're able to wake up because someone else didn't, there's purpose for you, and how to go about pursuing that. And a lot of times it just takes work from the inside. So, I feel like anybody that's stuck with have an idea in their head, things that they want to, they know they want to do, entrepreneurship, launch a business, they're not quite sure what that business is. I would go with a coach advisor. Anyone who's wanting to be more involved in ministry and not sure how to go about that, how to start their walk with God, and be faithful and tithe and all these different things, or you have questions and things you want to know about, I would advise you to book with Coach Krystal. The main reason, because when I was going through my spiritual journey, I had been following other people who were basically misleading me. And one thing about it is that she taught me was to, when getting, in all you're getting, get an understanding. So she taught me to go right to the source, which would be the Bible. Sometimes that's confusing, so she would give me enough for understanding, but I would also have to read it for myself, because again, we're not perfect. So what one person thinks is, another one not. So you need to go read it, and then I will report back to her what I thought this was and what I felt about it. And so that kind of helped, where I was able to kind of do like a self-Bible study and be able to get more of an understanding of my own, where others had used the Bible to manipulate me, to make me think the opposite, to almost turn me away from God. So, and I see a lot of that going on. So it's just one of those things, if it's on you to like want to know more and you just want to ask questions, book a coach, book somebody, book a session, just to find out if this is somebody you could see yourself talking to on a regular basis. Just, you can book one session and just see, and then just after that, maybe once a week, just to see if it's something that you might want to do. And you'll be surprised how much like 1 hour talking to the right person and getting to those points could change your life. Like, just like, dang, I didn't realize that, whatever. Just giving you a clear understanding, straight to the point of the things that you need to do, or things that's going on, or how you may feel, or changing your thinking, And I know, like people say, if you change your mind, you can change your life. And that's really, really true. So just that 1 hour pep talk a day or whatever, or however 1 hour pep talk a week on how, on how you want to accomplish things and move forward in your life, it really can change it. It really gives you something to look forward to. I look forward to I look forward to accomplishing the goals that I set, and even and I also learned not to be too hard on myself when I didn't accomplish anything, but still not to just stay in that sunken place. So I think that that's just like I think that's a benefit. Sometimes it's a good thing to be like to deal with people that you don't necessarily know, so you can have that clear cut vision of you, view of you, to be able to tell you, and then this person is not telling you out of malice because they don't know you. So their whole purpose is to help you. So that's what I think that benefits. It's an investment in yourself. Whenever you're wanting to just do better as a person, you really have to just invest in yourself. It starts within, and just, it's no amount of money, it's no amount of time that's not worth spending or using to invest in yourself. Because I had to think for so long, I invested myself in other people. Mm-hmm. I invested in other businesses, or and just gave myself to other people, but I had never took the time to really just heal myself and learn myself and do what I wanted to do, and choose the things that was best for me, and put me and my children in good environments, and have peace in a different type of way of living and dealing with them. So, I feel like all those things, down to how to deal with children, it's a lot of different things you can really pick her for, especially with relationships, because I did, when I was in a relationship, I was in counseling with my partner at the time, and through those things, I did find out that was not a relationship I wanted to be in. So I needed that, because I don't feel like if I hadn't went through counseling with her and her husband, I don't know how long I would have been in a relationship before, or how volatile it would have gotten. So sometimes, you need that clear-cut understanding or whatever. Thank you. You just need that clear-cut understanding, like, of not knowing that you're wasting your time or doing things that's not, of God. You want to do everything that's in your life. You want to be intentional about it, but also in the purpose of God, what His will is for you. And sometimes we're so blinded by the idea or what it feels good at the time, or what the plans we have for ourselves. Mm-hmm. We don't really see the plans that God has for us. And the main thing is, like, whatever it is we're imagining for ourselves, God has something 10 times better than what you even have. And so, so it's just, there's no limits on what God can do. And it's sometimes, like I said, you just need that extra push, that person on the outside to be like, hey, this person isn't good for you, and this is how you need to go about cutting them off. Because a lot of times we're just products of our environments, and we're not really knowing how to maneuver. We're just kind of winging and working what we have. And sometimes, just doing the same thing over and over again, which is really considered to be insanity. Mm-hmm. It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Sometimes you have to go through it a different way, and you have to face that enemy head on. I'm not a person of confrontation, so I have a hard time cutting people off. I have a hard time not dealing with people. Hard time telling people how I truly feel, because I don't like to be in confrontation with people like that. But I had to learn how to, convey myself, and I had to learn to do it for me. And I would never learn how to do that if it wasn't for me going through counseling and coaching. So it was beneficial.
I remember when we first met, when she first did my hair, and I called her back again, and it would probably be about a month to 6 weeks, sometimes 2 months in between. But it was like, when she saw me, it was like, ah! And she would have like this list of things, and I would tell her, you could call me at any time. And she would be, well, you're busy, you're this, you're that. And so then the next time I would come back, and she'd come and do my hair, and it would be, ah! And I would say, okay, you can really, really call me. You really can. So coaching not only her, but other people, I would tell them, you can really call me. I've been doing it for years. And so I don't think she even knows. Last year we were talking about her calling and her gifting, and she was helping me. She spoke. The first time she spoke was last year at an event I did, Birthing You. And so that was last October. So it's almost a year since she spoke, since she preached her first word. And so at that event, after that event, I began asking the ladies that that I had mentored over the years, can you tell me what you learned from me? Can you tell me, some of the things that I did to encourage you or to help you? And so I got some really powerful reviews, not even knowing that I was coaching. And so I thank God for God using her, God speaking a word through her to me, um, to to push out, to birth out this coaching, and to really walk in what He has called me to do. And so, if you are interested in coaching, I will post the link in here after the video. But it's mymentor.life, and look for Krystal Henry. It's Krystal with a K. And I would be glad to coach you. And we can connect and contact and see if we're a good fit. God knows what we need when we need it. So sometimes we even wonder, why am I on here listening? Why am I on here looking at these ladies? But it might mean that you really might need some coaching. Mm-hmm. So that's what this pop-up is all about. We hope you enjoyed it. Continue to encourage one another. I'm going to continue to encourage her. She's going to continue to encourage me, and we're going to continue to encourage you. So I hope that this was a blessing, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Have a great Saturday night.